All right, guys, here we're to talk about Star Slammer. 1986's Star Slammer. Lee, had you seen it before?
Of course not. What are you talking about? Why are you making fun of me?
This is a fun movie. This is Fred Olen Ray. This is like a Charles Band adjacent style of filmmaking here. I'm a big fan of these low budget films. There's definitely too much smut kind of crap going on, like weird like
Let me pause you right there, because I saw the title. I believe the description describes like lesbian prison guards at a space facility.
It? Yeah. I've never read the description.
Because I was like, what is this? And going into it, I'm like, oh, we get to watch some smut for a change. I like smut. And I thought this was a failure even as smut. I'm like, there's not enough smut in here.
I think that's why I like it though. Yeah. It's a really fun sci-fi bullshit low budget. This is like everything I want when I'm watching a low budget movie. I want there to be like some practical effects that are fun. I want there to be sets that are handmade, and I want there to be acting that is questionable. And this has like all of that, and they're all kind of fun.
So there were parts that I enjoyed, but ultimately I fell asleep. It was very boring.
Did you?
I didn't like this movie very much at all.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I thought like it kept trying to do stuff and then like not doing it well. We'll get into details, I guess, but I kept being like, I'm very disappointed. Because ultimately like it was not smutty enough because it was selling me on the smut. There's no smut really. It's very disappointing. It's very unsexy smut at that. And then things would happen a few times. I'm like, okay, that's kind of good. But in general, I was like, it's not. I don't know what we're doing here, man. I don't know.
I think the only thing that I did not like about this movie, so the movie is about a woman. She was kidnapped off of like a planet, sent to a prison ship where she has and like a ragtag group of other inmates have to rebel and ultimately escape.
The movie is Barbarella Caged Heat. Is like the movie.
That's not a bad description.
That's the movie.
The only thing I didn't like about this movie was at the end, spoilers, I'm going to say one little spoiler
oh my
right
God,
now.
No.
Hang on.
What?
They say, we'll see you in the sequel, and there is no sequel.
Oh, okay.
That is the only thing that I will say.
I was about to call 911. He's doing spoilers before spoilers.
Because it's not really a spoiler.
Yeah.
Like, there's a single still that tells you the name of the next movie. I think it was going to be, what is her name? Tsula in, like, Chained Earth or some butt fucking bullshit thing.
But like that's this type of movie is that it wants to like it kind of starts in a way where you're like this just happens to this chick every day, and then it kind of ends in a way of like it's gonna keep happening or whatever. Like oh we're having so much fun, but I didn't have a lot of fun in the middle, and we will debate every point on the way.
I enjoyed the whole thing.
You like it? Okay.
So if you've seen it or don't care, false over spoilers, and if not, pull out now.
If you need a place to rent content, you better listen. We're Cannibal Video and we eat the competition.
All right, guys, here we are for the spoilers of Star Slammer. It's a great name.
It's a great name.
It's pretty
Absolutely.
Good. So you weren't a big fan of this one.
I was let down because I would have liked more smut or more outlandishness, which you already agreed with. So there's nothing else to discuss.
Shut up, slugs!
I would rather have more outlandishness and no smut.
That's fine, but like. You're in agreement that the amount of smut is like bad.
You don't see me complaining, do you?
Well,
if there was too much smut, you could simply avoid watching the movie.
Yeah,
if there was
suppose.
Zero smut, you'd be happier.
I think it has a lot going for it in what it is, and like I think you'll agree with all the points I'm going to make. Like I love a good set. And in this set, like, there's a lot of things where, like, I'm sitting there like, how did they make that? And you can point at certain things, you're like, I think this part is made of milk crates. Like, I think that might be, like, disposable styrofoam packaging for a hamburger, just lining the wall repeatedly, like, things like that. Like, it's definitely done on the cheap, but certain things pull you into it. You're like, wait, but how the fuck did they do that? Like the monster that has a Saturday morning kids show.
The winner of the Triad Galaxy Heavyweight Championship and star of his own Saturday morning children's television series.
Who has to kill them in the arena.
Oh, the weird like tooth mountain monster thing?
Yeah, what was his name? I think I wrote it down.
What makes that shot is when it cuts to the angle inside of its mouth.
Yes.
Showing them from inside the mouth,
Vicious Hunk Hardigan.
That thing was dope as fuck.
You've let us down.
I can't remember his fucking name. Something Harrington. But yeah, there's like big tooth. He's like a fucking Venus flytrap looking monster thing. I thought that was really great. The guy who's like serving soup, like, I have a theory. I think the guy serving soup is the small child that is also fighting that wrestler on that like digital TV thing. Because they're both very small. And I'm like, how many small people you think they know?
There's like a third small thing, or is that just the well, because he's not wearing a wrestler mask anymore. There's like another kid doing something else in some hologram thing.
That is the wrestler.
That's the wrestler
Yeah,
still?
there's a giant like 200-pound wrestler and a small little child. And the child like beats his ass.
Because he's wearing like a luchador mask early on, but then later it's different, but I don't know if that's
Oh, I can't,
that's
I'm
fine.
picturing that weird. I don't know.
Whatever. The point is, yes, they have a child.
Yeah.
They've kidnapped a child to help film the movie.
You see, in the 80s, the studio would adopt orphans.
Yes.
Yeah.
For their tiny hands to work the cameras.
Of course. But I do think it had a lot of great, like, ridiculous stuff. Yes, they hype up the sexualization of things. Like the movie opens with like a weird torture thing, I think, just to be like, okay, we need a pretty girl to scream. Like,
Yeah. You like this, don't you?
yeah. Or to pad the length, I'm not sure, but it had a weird cut, and then it cuts to, like, you know, our main thing on like the planet.
And it's the worst nudity in general, because it's like the least sexy and least like interesting.
Well, I don't even think is it even nudity?
No, I mean like in the whole movie.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
like she's just like changing her shirt a few times, and
Oh,
we're meant like it really does feel like they were just like I think that, you know, this is a real movie, or I dreamt it, but I was like, yay, this will be some smut, and it was literally just like, you have to be naked to take the teleporter.
Take your clothes off. The portal won't wait forever.
You mean I have to get naked with you in this whole thing?
It's the only way you can be transported.
Yes!
Or some dumb where I'm like, it's like stupid now it's just a bad sci-fi movie. There's no smut in this at all. This felt like that, where just, you know, so they could just write nudity on the box or on the rating system or something. Yeah.
Pretty much, like, and lots of scantily cladness, which I'm okay with. Like, you know, this is the future, so obviously you just dress as dominatrixes and weird fucking prison bullshit.
Cease the punishment.
Good things do that too. That's like a thing that happens.
The outfit of our main character when she's on like her planet is just like this weird fucking thong thing that, like, did you see in the IMDb? There's like fun fact, that thing was so fucking tight and caused such a horrible wedgie she got hemorrhoids from it.
Long live the soldering.
And his hemorrhoids, too.
Oh no.
Yeah. For this movie.
That's the ultimate adding insult to injury.
Yeah, I don't know how fucking tight a thong has to be, but that tight. And I think she said it was shaped like a state. Was it Texas? I forget.
The hemorrhoid?
Yeah.
With the hemorrhoid shaped like Texas.
Something. I'll cut to it.
Everything is horrible about that.
Yeah.
And that's putting it lightly.
I really liked the priest guy who, like, is in the beginning of the movie.
I called him a rabbi, but he is not a rabbi.
Rabbi almost feels appropriate.
I think I'm just being...
He's like a space priest.
Sovereign warriors have for many years defiled the Tao. Their tyranny will not last forever.
Well,
he kind of reminds me of Mel Brooks.
Yeah, well, he's like a future rabbi, because he's like coded to be a rabbi, but they say like the Church of Tao or something. He's meant to be like this future religion, and he's doing things. Oh, that's when I was like, oh, this is wild, this is funny, you know, this is interesting.
I am a priest. My name is Saul. I come in peace in the name of Tao.
Yeah, and like, so he dies, and I'm like, no! And then when he made a comeback at the end, I was like, yay!
The key to his own asylum. Bantor. demon?
It's kind of bookended and has some peaks along the way that are the kind of outlandish that I wanted throughout,
Yeah.
and that's definitely an aspect there. Because he calls back to the same line he said
Yes.
in the beginning, and then
it was true the whole time.
Well, and has presumably just driven Emperor Zod mad.
Kinda.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
don't
that
know
guy
why
goes
he
off the
stops
deep
doing
end,
something, yeah.
Potentially from just his hand injury that sent him over the edge,
Well,
which was done pretty well.
Claims to have already been insane.
Yeah, he did say it, yeah.
That's not gonna work on me, old man. I'm already. I lost my mind long ago, and like spins around. Yeah.
His own asylum.
Oh, don't try that line on me, old man. I went nuts a long time ago.
That character is great. Do you like that character?
The whole group of evil bad guys there, like that little mercenary group, or they're not really mercenaries. They do work for the Emperor or whatever, and the Emperor's great too. I really liked so much. That's why I think it's almost surprising to me that I thought like we'd be on that same length of like, well, that was fucking crazy, and this was
Yeah,
like,
there's crazy things.
They're little groups, so it's like a guy in like a fucking zoot suit and like long-haired fucking like mecha warrior
We're talking
in
about
like
the
hockey
henchmen
pads.
of the
Yeah. And then our main, like, bad guy who gets his hand fucked up is in, like, this, like, like more fucking suit thing where he does kind of have that Zod
He's
vibe.
literally Emperor. Well, I mean, he's not Zod, literally.
Yeah.
I chose the only word that would not, convey my point properly, but he's very much, the actor, too, has the vibe, the haircut, he looks,
Yeah.
so I'm like, it's Zod, guys. But he's great. Banter, I think his name is, and he's Bantor, but Banter, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
But like
yes.
the Emperor and like his wife, when it cuts to them, and like especially most of them, is just like a single shot because they only have a set that's the size of one room.
Greetings, Warden Maxine.
Catal and praises your sovereign. Your thoughts and my duty are one.
The nature of this meeting is for a request, not a command.
And them just doing their thing. I'm like, oh man, this is so much more than like I thought it would be. Like, because you pictured something based on what everything else is. You can't guess what the next thing is going to be because it goes from like wildly amazing stuff to like, oh, okay, I guess that's happening now. Like, and there's
okay.
And
that was my thing. Yeah.
That's something that I think I liked about it. That could be considered a flaw. That I was like, oh yeah, I don't know where this is going.
No,
this could
like,
go anywhere.
I like. It didn't feel. How to phrase this? I'm super into an outlandish, wild thing where it's taking a lot of risks and like some of them don't work.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm very forgiving of that. Where I'm like, okay, well you were trying to do this and it didn't happen or whatever. But like this felt like it would occasionally do something, but would always be very like restrained and like holding back and not do like enough with it, and might be like or whatever. Because it's very cool to like cut to the Emperor and his concubine or whatever and have them be like, are we still rolling?
Are we off the air?
Yes, sir.
Good. That ought to take care of the little bastards.
Goody.
Oh, what's that? But like, I'm like, this wasn't executed well, and you didn't do anything. Like, there's like 2 or 3 shots of them, and I'm like, well, this is the only one that's like that. The other one's different. I'm like, oh, it's
There's a
happening
lot
or
of things
whatever.
like that where it's like, well, nothing else is like her. Like the lead girl in the prison is playing a harmonica for a moment. Like she goes from discovering a harmonica and like not knowing what it is. Like sniffing it and it fucking plays, to then be like, let me bust out a quick fucking jam. And I love that, but it fits nothing else tonally in the movie.
I chuckled because once she's done with like the song dance numbers, she like chucks it away. In a very interesting way, where that was like a nice like button to it. A lot of stuff doesn't have a button though. The scene just ends. Or like the bad guy's like, I'll deal with you later, and then just walks out of the scene. And you're like, what?
I'll get you later. Attention.
What's happening?
That's almost a joke though for like how
Yes.
TV is. Like
you could extend
I
maximum charity.
don't think anything of it was on purpose, but it struck me as like, yep, this is the commercial break.
No.
I'll
and,
see you next time, Gallagher.
It's funny in that way where you're just like, wait, they didn't set that up at all. Oh, is that funny because it just like it happened? Oh, she's betraying you now. Like, wait, what? Who is that? Like this dumb, like that could be a thing, but yeah, I don't know. I want more.
So I am on record. I like bad movies, and I think like this, like when I'm thinking of a bad movie, this is like, yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Like interesting sets, weird characters, unexplainable things, like just enough of a plot and a budget to get like optimal shit.
Sounds like my kind of guy.
And like, I'm sure that they pulled like the things that I really like just from other projects they were doing, like, oh, we already had this from that, like type of thing. I don't recognize them from anything, but that's my vibe. Like, or another movie, or someone lent them something, because there's just too much attention and money put into certain things.
It's too hodgepodgey.
It doesn't.
Like, oh, you must have known a guy who's like, yes, I have a thing.
Something.
Here's where I'm at. I laughed when they had like the TV segment to introduce the new Inquisitor, and he has a weird, messed up eye, and it's this like, I'm a scary, like interrogator, executioner dude.
It's time for another episode of the Rehab Game. Today's profile is on Inquisitor number 13.
But then it's like, he enjoys long walks on the beach, and he's been doing this since he was 12. And it cuts to like a young kid with like scraggly hair that has the exact same but much worse looking fake dumb eye.
The Inquisitor won the Junior Torturers Championship Cup for squashing over 5,000 dribbles in less than 1 hour.
That's what
it got me also.
That's what I want. That's where I'm at. And I felt like it very rarely rose to that like level for me. Yeah.
It was weird because it was not a comedy for a large chunk of it, but then like it would lean into it in these certain levels here, and I was like, okay, I appreciate
I think it was a comedy, but is not funny.
You think so?
Kind of.
His favorite colors are brown and gray, and his turnoffs include moon surfing, the color pink, and shaving.
I thought it was an action movie that just wasn't very actiony.
Oh damn!
So like, either direction.
I was saying that is a good either. Yes. No. This is definitely one of those movies that could be really good. I just didn't think this exact one was as good as even other stuff that you've been like, oh, this is crazy, this is outlandish, this is wacky, and normal people don't like this, but I like this. Do you like this? I'm like, I love this, but I was like, I don't. Yeah.
Something goofy's going on around here.
It's just a matter of degrees of like how good or whatever.
It's mainly just the physical nature of it, like how mostly everything is happening there.
There's a lot to appreciate, and I certainly appreciate it. I just wish it was better.
It's not as bad as that. His mind comes and goes.
But
yes. But I often settle for far worse.
Exactly.
So
like,
for me, I was like, holy shit, this is great.
This is a masterpiece.
Then, like, I wasn't super into like the main character. I didn't think they really sold her for
really
what she was doing.
Yes.
But I thought a lot of the the extended characters, like the lady gang of prisoners, were good. I thought the one who was doing the torturing in the very first scene, I liked her. I was like, oh, great.
All right, ladies, assume your positions. Eyes front.
She gets her fucking arm cut off. I was like, oh, how daring when they showed the eye.
Slug up against the wall.
Because the way they frame that is like every other movie ever, where they're like, something horrible here. And then they don't show it. And then she turns right into the fucking camera. And I'm like, okay.
Has a nice meatball eye.
It wasn't the best.
No, but
I agree. The fact that they showed it at all on a movie like this, I was like, oh yeah, bitch, you get a check mark from me.
No, I think that's a part of it too, like you're saying, is the main chick gets overshadowed by a lot of the other characters.
I'd say almost
on
all
both
of
sides. Them. Yeah, so like that's a part of where I'm like not as into it, because it isn't like we can focus on some other character instead. It is very much about the main chick.
Well, my name's Taura. You can all kiss my ass.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, she's not even like good or bad good. She just has like a weird delivery that I don't like.
Yeah.
And
A sovereign Land Rover.
Tax collecting scum.
she's not even. It's not even like, oh well, it's the only actress willing to be naked for so long. It's like you're barely even naked.
Yeah.
Like, there's no I don't know what's happening.
And like, obviously a pretty girl, like a lead lead visually.
A lot
obviously.
of them are pretty girls.
You're very firm.
Okay.
No, yes. In general,
I wanted this to be much smuttier, is what I'm saying.
Almost anybody who's in these kind of movies is going to be just gorgeous,
Yeah.
and like your guys are just going to be like these big rock studs or something, or these weird looking fucking things that they have here. But I'll say that the acting, as far as we got for like the lead, like prisoner girl, like she's selling punches and doing things, but our main girl like is not selling punches.
Oh yeah, and she's not even like, oh, this must be like a stunt woman. Who's
Yeah,
really
no.
hot, where it's like, no. Yeah, exactly. Because part of it can be funny, where like, oh, like the genetically engineered doctor is like on our side, so she's been captured, and now she's being tortured in like a space bikini, like a weird bikini, and like, was she wearing that under her lab coat the whole time? Like what? Like that has a funniness to me that I like, but again,
It's weird that like, so they're in these prison uniforms that are not all the same, and some people have like necklaces and bracelets and this and that, like
80s hair scrunch, like weird things. Yes.
like, oh, all right. I love the setup of like she's like sharpening that plate.
Yes.
And then
awesome.
actually gets to use it. They really do execute their prison break almost flawlessly, aside from the fact that almost everyone dies.
Where do we go and how do we get there?
There are 2 Abantor shuttles on the bottom level. They're not so well equipped, but they fly like lightning.
Like they're like all their little maneuvers do work as intended.
And this is okay. So like the plate's great because they do like a weird lamp shading, hat tip thing where it's like, have they not noticed you're sharpening a plate? And she's like, I've been doing this for a long time, and it's very sharp now. It's like very funny.
Hey, Marnie, they catch on to that plate gag yet?
Nah. And they're stupid.
And she gets to use it later, right? But also, there's a little moment where they do like the quick draw competition all of a sudden, where it's like that's not why, and then you realize no, those are like the security androids. Why would the android do like a Clint Eastwood? And that's outlandish and fun. That's good. I'm like, yes, good, more of this, please. Yes.
The one dude's hair changes in every scene.
Stop telling me what we don't have and find something we do have quickly.
Well, I think there's a distinct possibility for Pantheon crystals.
It's
who does your hair?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like that guy was just like working on some other project where he had to be red all of a sudden.
By the way, who does your hair?
And they just like, write it in. Who
It
does
worked.
your hair?
It didn't matter at all. The guy that played the long-haired bad guy there, I don't think he is, and I didn't look it up. He reminds me of like Ugg from Salute Your Shorts.
Hey, soldier.
I don't think he's the right age for that to be him. But yes. like oh my god, that's a vibe.
He's an Ugg type.
Ugg archetype, yeah.
It seems kind of unfair to splash this on. I mean, being a babe magnet. This is gonna be like throwing gasoline on a fire.
Shakespeare said there were only so many, and Ugg is definitely one. The last one, because it's with you.
I wrote Air PSA.
In the event I accidentally shut off the oxygen in your cells, a mass may drop down next to your bunk.
If you're going to run out of air, these masks may deploy, but they don't work, so simply ignore this message.
In order to breathe. However, these masks don't work either, so just ignore this transmission.
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
I that type of thing, like, it's so dumb that it got me.
I liked that, and that's so early that I got really hyped up. Like, oh, Stefan found us some more gold down in the bad movie mines. He got
There's
us
like
the dinger.
Spaceballs vibes.
That's why I was
in
like
the good parts of this.
Yes,
but then in the bad parts.
Now go. I've got work to do.
Mentor said to stay and see it done.
You had your demonstration earlier. I'll call you when I'm ready.
very not Spaceballs, but you know, like
yeah, I mean, we've covered 20 minutes of this 90-minute movie though, right? And like, there's a lot happening where I'm like, I don't like this. This is boring.
Like and some things are just like directing bad. Like they're in these solitary confinement cubes, and there's like a Jaeger rat, I think they called it.
Jagger rats. KK has one in a cage under the bed. They're nasty little suckers.
This like, you know, big fucking puppet monster rat thing.
Yeah.
And she just like sees it, looks away and goes, ah!
You okay?
Yeah, I think so.
And I'm like, you're in a small fucking cube. Why are you still not looking down? Who's directing you? What are you doing?
There's a lot of that.
Like, there's so much of like, how are you keep getting attacked by not seeing it when it's the only thing you should be focusing on? There's nothing else in the room. Why are you looking slightly off the camera?
Kill it, Taura, kill it!
There's a moment where she's in the hall like, wait, what's going on here? And then like the bad guy suddenly attacks her from the front.
Taura.
I've got you now, you little demon bitch.
Yeah.
Like not from the side or the back or the whatever. He's suddenly like, I got you, bitch. And you're like, where is he coming from? What's that? And there's no reverse shot, which I understand that everybody do. But there's no even like it's dark or there's like things happening or whatever. And this is even more nitpicky. There's a point where someone shoots and like misses her.
I want your hand.
And like it like goes psh, like behind her, and she looks like an hour. She like moves and looks like an hour later after it happens, which I think is just the timing of the things or whatever. It's like what's happening? Yeah.
You want it? Come and get it!
There's a lot of little errors, but I think some of those add to the charm. Some of them take you out of it, of course. And it's gonna be a roll of the dice which one's which, because some of them like you could not predict which ones I'm gonna like and which ones I'm not, because I'm I'm not consistent. And I admit it.
How'd you feel about the sound?
Freeze, handsome. Thought somebody would have done away with you by now.
I didn't have any sound problems.
I wanted to kill myself.
Really?
Hold it right there, Padre. One more step in your rod's history. Oh, I mean your staff.
So like in several parts of it, they are playing. In like the first bit, there are these like sizzling crystals, I guess.
Yeah.
And they play this loud sizzling in like every scene that involves those crystals, and I was like, okay, but that's just the crystals are not in the movie anymore. It's fine. It's not gonna happen. Then we get to the space station, and they play like space station hum _02.wave.
Oh yeah, that I do remember.
It's like weird. I'm not doing it right. But
Well,
like,
I remember watching that
noise.
part and going like, well, they're adding that, right?
Yes.
That's not there.
Can I
Wait,
just
is that there? Where is this set built? And I'm like, well, maybe it's in like a factory, and they're like right next to the heater or something.
I didn't know what you were gonna say, and my brain was like, they're in a factory that just grind, like grinds noises of things.
Well,
like,
I don't, because like sometimes
Yes.
things pick up weird on the mics, and I don't know what they had, what they were using specifically.
It's a refrigerator.
But maybe like, oh, we're in the background of like a Whole Foods, and that's the freezer. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, we're in a standing freezer showroom in the back behind a tarp.
It's hard to say because again, they had to be doing this on the cheap, and they did build this set out.
Good. I'm just itching to cut somebody.
You did? Yes.
No.
So like, where is it? It has to be somewhere. So maybe it is just in a rented spot.
Yeah. Listen, if all those hallways and everything in that part of the space station is just a like T-shaped thing they built in a place, there could have been a noise at that point.
Yeah. But I did think, I'm like, they added this. It's really not.
No, because the crystals, they would like cut away and the crystal sizzling noise would stop.
Yeah.
They'd be like, okay, Lee, calm down. This is just crystals. Relax. They're not gonna be crystals in the whole movie. All right, stop.
Little did I know.
Stop nitpicking. But yes, then it was well overshadowed by space station background noise, hum or whatever. I don't know. Maybe there's some other audio problem that they're covering for by trying to smooth it out with like goopy layers of hum or whatever.
I wonder if it's as simple as an inconsistency between take one and take two, where it's like, oh, there's some weird fucking thing. Fuck it, let's drown the whole bitch.
Drowned it out.
Yeah.
Just drowned it out with the humming.
I like that the plan, I guess, was like I need to sow seeds of dissension between these people. Let me do some subtle pranks. I'll put a giant bug thing in their plate of food.
I caught them myself. Eat it.
An attack on her chair.
Ouch! Okay, which one of you jokers put this tack in my chair?
Hold on, this is amazing. Because the guy, Bantor, is like, because he's had this one henchman who you're like, what's his thing? You've seen everyone else's thing.
You picture a claw hand. He doesn't have one.
or because he's like small and like creepy, so you picture, some transformation or some weird. He's like a psychic power man or whatever. Use your special talents, and he's like, finally, yes. And then
shape changing something maybe.
But literally, it's like pranks. It's like silly pranks. One of which is impossible. Like a tentacle comes out of the food and squirts her in the face.
Yeah, and she doesn't bat an eye. She's like, bugs in my food.
Oh, this place sucks. Yeah, exactly.
But like, there's an ear in their food on a normal day, so you're like, I guess things just end up in the food.
Here, you can have this one.
There you go. Maybe
the tack though is so funny. You're like, attack.
Better hold off on your little tricks.
It's too late. It's starting now.
And it cuts to him like, yes. Which, like, is that a joke? I like that. Something's funny about that. But, like, I think if that was a joke, it should have kept going where there's a whoopee cushion and someone...
We need three. Like, the rule of three.
Someone goes to pee and there's, like, saran wrap or some silly
No, like, the
thing.
third one should have been
stupid.
attack on the chair. Alien bug. Killed him.
No. That's what I mean. Like, it has to, like there has to be this humorous release where it is just bullshit, nothing pranks, or this is just some alien person who doesn't understand that like attack on the chair is way different than like, I dissolved your face with acid or something like wait, what the fuck? Oh my God.
I did love how the lasers in the first half turn people to nothing.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool. And that's a thing. And we don't have that going further. I think possibly because we just didn't have the budget to, or we didn't film things like at a blank plate or whatever the issue might have been.
I actually liked one shot way late in the end when there's like a big security
it
droid.
takes more than one shot.
It takes more than one shot, and it seems like it goes through the... It must have been like an accident where it like made it look cool to me. But the way that it kind of like went through the head had this weird like it was like lighting the head up or something in a way. I was like, that's cool. What is that? And I'm like, it's probably a mistake.
Someone sneezed.
Someone did something wrong somehow or whatever. It made it look cool to me.
Was cool.
Which brings us to the ending, the climactic ending, which is just every character in a separate phone, like the same phone booth. But separately, getting blown up in a spaceship.
It is very hard to follow that last part because I'm like, okay, what ship are they in?
You've got an android fighter creeping up.
Okay, every ship just cuts from like shooting to another ship exploding and back and forth. You're never really...
For you, Mr. Inquisitor.
And I guess it would be difficult to be like, okay, let me zoom in. All right, you can see that guy's in that ship. This one's in that. Like, but they didn't make an effort at all. Like, you should have had, okay, guys got in, launching, and then show what ship is launching or something. But I was like, all right. There's one really great shot of like a gun where she's like, oh, get him, and like a gun from the ship starts shooting. I'm like, what movie is that from? That's not from this movie.
Where did you steal that from? Exactly.
But honestly,
no,
I think they did because that looked great.
Yes, it is literally a scattered space, footage of ba-doo, and then it cuts to one of the many villains who we just have to quickly kill now at the end of the movie with like blue light on their face, going ah, and then like the person's
always
dead.
This, and then exploding like, what is this doing? I guess I won't know until I die in a space battle. But I don't think I'm doing this.
No, your instincts kick in.
I guess I gotta block it. Laser!
Start to do your Mr. Miyagi stuff. You go you wax the floor. No, but like I was like that may be my ultimate disappointment is why even some of the fun stuff earlier on made me go, because I was hoping this to be fun or do like a fun spin on this or have a weird thing.
That would have been in the sequel.
Which we will never get.
I'm actually, do you understand how angry I actually was? Because I immediately, I did not know a sequel existed. So I'm like, oh shit! And I hopped on eBay immediately and I didn't see it. And then I was like, all right, hang on, let me go on. Okay, no. All right, let me Google it. Maybe because sometimes the names change. And I'm like, oh, maybe it's under a different name.
Check the actress, look at her credits.
They were going to put it out and didn't. She didn't do a lot, the main actress here.
She's bad.
She retired after doing like a few movies and run some sort of, I think, like event or catering or something like that. And like,
don't dox her.
Took off.
Yeah.
Lives in Hawaii, I think.
I hope she's having. I hope she's having a great life. I don't want to see her in any other films.
Well, unless she's willing to come back for the sequel.
Well, yes. But that's the bait. That's the like.
This is the exact kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
If I won the lottery, we would be making a sequel.
We own the rights to this now.
Oh my god, yeah.
No, but this is literally Jews in space at the end of Spaceballs.
Yeah.
This is like
that. Also whatever. Made me fucking mad.
You thought that was real?
Yeah, I was
the
like,
star of
I was like
Ships.
7 years old, and I'm fucking watching the VHS, and I'm like, oh, cool, the sequel's gonna be awesome.
I was like 3, and I'm like, oh, my dad recorded.
Oh no,
this
you know,
in
I'm thinking of
SLP
History of the World
SP.
Part 2. That's what I'm thinking of.
Okay.
That I thought was real.
Don't miss History of the World Part 2. See Hitler on Ice.
Okay, not
Jews
in space,
yeah.
Or like pigs in space. The point is, yes, it's got that fun baiting at the end where she's back on some planet, hopping around, maybe with her axe again, where she's like Xenaing out or something. As if like, and that's good to do, where you have a vibe, like we just bump into her and she's out there doing something in the beginning, it's wrapped up in this plot, and then at the end it's like, oh, she's back where she was, and things are gonna come up, and hey, join us for whatever, Barbarella in Caged Heat 3, and coming back or whatever, yes.
Caged Heat 2 is hard-boiled action.
Which is nice. That's a nice thing.
I like that kind of stuff.
I feel bad for you that you thought that was real and then you were let down.
It really should have, because like how many low budget movies have sequels, and especially that could have just filmed at the same time. Like, oh, we ended up with 3 hours, two movies, like
2 movies.
Fucking bullshit.
Here's your shortbread Pop-Tart as requested.
What's your favorite part of this movie?
Oh, by far favorite part, and it's so dumb, is when
have we not talked about
Vantor is getting flogged.
Master.
Demons.
But like our Zoot Suit friend like has no arm whatsoever. He's just like. And then it gets replaced by like ghost rabbi in space,
rabbi, yeah.
And that dude's like, "Bitch, you killed me," and he's really railing him. That's hilarious.
This may be with the Zod comparison too, because Zod also had that weird thing where he just like the puritanical, like,
hey, you gotta
cleanse the thing. This was like a weird attempt at like a serious scene almost, or was it supposed to be funny? Like,
I don't know. It all depends how the director did this, because if that guy was given a stage direction, like, okay, let's say you're like that kid on the team that can't throw in baseball, and you're using your left hand, flog him.
I warned you, Susan.
Like it's so goofy in the background.
I feel like because he's actually hitting him, and then he doesn't want to hit him that hard, right?
But all you
Is
have
that
to do is
possible?
put like a cookie pan on his back, and you could have railed him as hard as you
What
wanted.
are we made of cookie pans? Come on.
What are we, a dollar store?
What are we got? Go to the dollar store? We're gonna duct tape a cutting board to
Because
his
the
ass?
mace is clearly made of like tennis balls or something. Like it's not gonna kill him.
There are demons all around us, and they take the form of women.
Like, come on.
Listen, the actor was like, "Hey, don't do that so hard. I have a weak ass. I can't take it."
Worthless little slug.
So I was torn watching this. Did you think the warden was like really perfectly casted, or like so fucking strange to cast?
I'll give him 10 minutes to undisappear. Then I contact the sovereign.
I went back and forth.
The
as
warden is
scenes
the
went on.
dominatrix.
The
person?
dominatrix girl.
I thought she wasn't great, but that what she was doing was sometimes working and like made sense.
I really couldn't. I'm like, is this
Yeah.
like a weird thing? Like that's like your friend or your girlfriend
There
or
were
something?
points where,
and then
like-
I was like, wait,
yeah.
no, she's perfect.
Looks like we have a mutiny aboard. Better take care of it.
Pleasure.
No, like the comedy came through sometimes, and I got this weird space dominatrix
Such a
vibe.
like a
Yeah, but-
peculiar look that like
Yeah.
works really well for space people, especially in this type of thing. I thought some of the spaceships looked really cool, and like that was nice. But then like other times I'm like, oh, what the fuck is that?
4 stray cat fighters spotted at point 30. Now here's this, you ugly.
The little robot car was cool.
Lying down, you beast.
The little guy zooming around.
Yeah.
Man, they're escaping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was fun.
No, it has a nice mix of like elements, and I like the distinctness of the henchmen and the different it's like it has like sometimes a movie like this will have like 3 things, and you're like, that's not enough things. Everyone's not the same.
Yeah.
What are you doing? And this has a nice because like the little dude serving the soup, like you called out a long time
He's
ago.
perfect.
That's great. Because he even shows up later, and she's like, "Get out of here!" And he's like,
He's in some weird photos where like they're like, I thought we were gonna have fun or whatever, and it's like him and the Inquisitor and like I think her.
Member to the prison ship Vehemence, but no stranger to the world of torture.
In like selfie style photos in like an album or something. I forget what the context that was shown, but like you can see like where he's not wearing that uniform, so like his big head just kind of like flops on.
Get lost, shorty.
Excellent.
Brilliant. Did you have a favorite part of the movie?
Don't put me on the spot like that.
You
ever
just
again.
put me on the spot, you cuck.
You're good at those things.
I'm great.
No, I've never thought about my favorite part of any movie, so.
You're more of a worst part kind of guy.
I see they didn't remove enough of your brains. Your mouth still seems to be getting your ass into trouble.
It's the riff-raff chump 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 that
Yeah.
like fucking made it.
No, she was great.
There's a part where the zoot suit guy, who kind of reminds me of like Ares' little fucking henchman guy.
Use your powers!
What was that guy's name?
Keep
Not
saying
Discord.
Zoot suit. What is a zoot suit?
Like a fucking weird fucking suit the guy's wearing.
Okay, because a zoot suit's like a suit.
Yeah, that's what he's wearing. Like those oversized the mask suits.
Oh, what?
It's like a dancing suit.
Okay.
Regardless,
okay.
the henchman reminds me of the henchman from Hercules, from like Ares' henchman from Hercules. But regardless, that guy, our main bad guy, Bantor, is like, oh, and that guy like pulls a can out and gives it to him just so he can crush a can and drop it.
Stick your finger in a light socket and short your brains out.
And I was like, okay, this movie, take it all back. You love this movie. It's fucking brilliant.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. So yeah, we kind of breezed over the initial interaction that has our prisoners, like, meeting and like kind of stomping her into the gang. And it's the worst, like funniest, but I don't know intentionally way of doing it.
What do they call it? Muster? We're gonna pass muster or something?
They're just like one gives her a little slap. One touches her a little.
Nice clothes.
The first one says, "My name's this," and then punches her right in the stomach.
Yeah. KK, welcome aboard.
And I'm like, oh my god, all these lesbian space babes are gonna punch this Barbarella. This is awesome. And then no, one of them just grabs her face a little and does nothing. They don't all even hit her or like hurt her.
Almost none of them do.
It's insane.
Yeah.
I was gypped.
I'm Ruby. Don't piss me off.
It was so funny though.
Cute.
There's a moment where there's a squaring off between our lead of the women's prison gang and the eye-patched, I think Muffin in charge of your lives type of girl.
Head Muffin in charge?
Head Muffin in charge. And it cuts back and now they both have knives.
It's time somebody cut you down to size, you scum-sucking dyke.
And their hands, their offhands,
Yes.
are chained together.
Okay.
And I was like, what set this up? How did this happen?
Perfect, because that was something else I wanted to be like, did I miss something here?
I don't think so.
I'd written down, it cuts back and they're doing that Michael Jackson fight thing from the video.
Yeah, it's like a Brahma bull match. I'm like, what is going on here? This is ridiculous. And the whole room wants Eye Patch dead, but nobody jumps in or hits her from behind.
It's gotta be a fair fight,
I guess.
So which then made me think the arms tied together knife fight is the dumbest thing ever, because you have a very reliable target to hit right here. She cuts off the hand that's chained to the other one.
Cuts off the reliable target?
I'm saying.
I know, it's funny.
Literally, because where your hand is, even with your eyes closed. So you could just always be cutting there. Why do you ever try to cut over here? It's crazy. Stefan, it's crazy. No one ever fights like that.
It is
That's
crazy.
a movie thing.
Well, they only cut her hand off so she could spin it and get blood on the other girl so she could take her clothes off later.
Okay, and also for the splatting in the face fetish.
Well, of course, you gotta get yours.
But yes, cut off the hand. The other chick is really upset about that, which I thought was good, funny acting and stuff.
Yeah.
She's very she Miss Piggy's out and goes in for the kill, but then gets killed and stuff.
Yeah.
This reminds me of an earlier thing between the head of the prison gang and our new chick babe, right? Who also have to fight the weird monster thing. That's the start of their bonding moment.
Hey, KK, Taura here killed your best friend. Hey, you need a drink.
And I really wanted later, we didn't talk about the space lobotomy, the electro lobotomy session.
Oh,
and
the
everything.
proper acting.
That's it. Excellent, Doctor.
Of
yes.
our
Because they test out the new space lobotomy, which is oh, this is going to solve all of our problems with all of our hot, space babes, messing everything up all the time. We're gonna give them electro space lobotomies and stuff. We don't see the main head chick of the prison gang get lobotomized.
No.
It's off camera. So I was like, oh, she's gonna be just pretending. I wonder what's gonna happen, because then they lead her in and she's fake lobotomized.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, this could lead to something. And then she immediately goes, haha, gotcha! And then I'm like, what? So
it did work though, Lee.
Okay, but I wanted, because to rewrite this, literally just these 10 seconds of the movie, right? Have Eye Patch Lady go to do something to our main chick and have her grab her arm and go, what? Because she's she's space lobotomized.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna let her, stand there, whatever. And then
would have been too obvious, Lee. Would have been too obvious.
I'm sorry about it.
We subvert your expectations.
Your expectations of it being a movie
Subverted.
where a thing happens.
Subverted.
Or whatever. That though, there's a lot of stuff that is that's wishful thinking. You want the movie to be a different movie. What's wrong with you? This, I'm it's right there. You're there. Who doesn't think of that? That's so easy.
This is one of those ones where I picture the movie we went to a Denny's and I wrote the whole movie on a napkin in 25 minutes. Before I had my refill on OJ, this movie was fucking done.
And once the refill stopped flowing, I said, that's all the script we're getting.
Yeah.
It's done.
But I love it. I really do. This was super refreshing to me because I've been watching a lot of either like real movies that weren't that good or bad movies that were fucking too bad. And this one I was like, all right, kids, we're starting a new leaf. Let's fucking
nice.
Let's do it.
I'm jealous that you enjoy things.
Yeah. If all the movies could be something like this, I'd be. If we can go a little bit heavier on the effects, a little bit lighter on the nudity, I think we'd nail everything.
I'll take all the smut.
Well, like nudity doesn't bother me if it's for a reason at all, but like these are there's no reason at all.
No, like
even just have it like no president needs to get bathed would have been. I've been like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Exactly.
But just the like, I'm in the middle of running for my life. Let me change my shirt.
No, like that's my disappointment because I'm nostalgic for bad things too, and one of the bad things I used to watch was smut. So yes, we have to bathe the new prisoners.
Henderson, get dressed. The warden wants to see you.
Or like there's a fight where I literally wrote down, no one's clothes even get torn. Like, what is this fake smut going on here? You sold me on a bill of goods of smut. And this is horrible. Yeah. Because like there's so many obvious opportunities for either of those things to happen that nothing happens. Yeah.
Nothing happens. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
If you want to support the show, head over to cannibalvideo.com, pick up some merch.
And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's something.
Whatever.
Fuck these motherfuckers.
Cannibal Video has everything you need. A wide array of VHS and DVDs. We ate the competition, now it's only